Welcome to the Business Success Strategies with Adrienne McLean. This is a 30-minute interview with successful business people who have been able to achieve amazing results with growing a business. Business Success Strategies is proudly sponsored by The Speaker's Practice and AdrienneMcLean.com, helping business owners with marketing and promotions with a specialty with public speaking. Enjoy today's Business Success Strategies interview.
Welcome to the Business Success Strategies interview. This is a 30-minute interview series where Adrienne McLean, yes, that's me, speaks with successful business professionals who have achieved remarkable results in growing their business. We find out their strategies for growth and success. Proudly sponsored by the Speaker's Practice and Amplify Results, this series provides valuable insights into marketing, client attraction, and business growth. The Speaker's Practice helps SME professionals market their business by speaking, while Amplify Results helps service professionals attract more clients. Enjoy today's Business Success Strategy interview. Welcome to Kieran Browning, a business streamlining consultant. Hi, Kieran.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Oh, it's great to have you with us, and I just love the title of Business Streamlining Consultant. We're going to find out a lot about that.
Yeah.
So, Kieran Browning has over 5 years' experience helping digital business owners systemize and streamline their operations. Kieran helps business owners with process improvement, systemized prospecting, and goal accountability. Kieran empowers businesses to free up time and increase efficiency. Oh, they're such important things to work on, Kieran.
Yeah.
So we've got some questions for you, and let's see your approaches. So, what are the challenges that business owners struggle with when running a business when they've got limited number of staff?
Huge challenges. So, the big difference you would have versus a large business is wearing too many hats, right? If you're the small business owner, you are the de facto operations manager, finance manager, HR manager, project manager, marketing manager, sales manager, fulfillment manager, and then probably also involved in a bunch of client work fulfillment yourself anyway. So it's just like it's so many different things. How are you supposed to be really good at 7 different jobs? Like it just is difficult, and which is why not many people do it, because if it was easy, everyone would do it. But if you can pull it off, you can make quite a lot of money and live quite a good lifestyle after your operations in particular has been streamlined out.
Yeah. Well, it's true. When you run the business, you do have so many hats that you've got to wear, and it can be that you end up firefighting or focusing on one area where you really need to be focusing more on growth and acquisition. So, what's a step that a business owner can do to sort of stop wearing so many hats and try to keep focus?
Yeah. So, the challenge a lot of people will have is they're trying to compete with larger businesses than them. And you don't have to do that, right? If you just really sit down and ask yourself, and use ChatGPT as well, really to help do this, like, what are we actually really good at? What are we best at? What is the skill set that I and the staff really have that is our big competitive advantage, the most useful thing we can do? And for a much, much, much narrower target audience than a larger business, like, where is an area where we can really shine? And then try and just focus in on just that. Delivering as few services as you possibly can to solve as few problems as you possibly can for as few different types of audiences as you possibly can. Then the business is just way simpler. And then you can, there isn't as many hats to wear, and there isn't as many fires to put out. You're kind of just doing the same thing you did the last 15 times for the last 15 clients, and there isn't as much guesswork and there isn't as much new problems to solve. So a restructuring, bearing in mind, like, look, we do not have 55 employees. So why are we playing the same game as someone in our industry that has 55 employees? Instead, we can be the best for this very specific, much more narrower target audience. And then there isn't as much operational complexity as a result. Interestingly, the thing that often blocks that is a lack of effective marketing. And because a lot of service providers are not doing very effective targeted marketing, doing speaking or something like that to promote their services, then they're at the mercy of clients asking for additional services, which could we provide that? I mean, I guess so. Could we do it very efficiently? Definitely not. Can we do it as profitably as our competitors? Absolutely no way. This is going to be a big nightmare for me. I mean, probably might at some point. So a lot of operational problems are actually solved by marketing and just clearer, effective, narrower marketing. So you end up with a simpler set of services that you're providing, and then everything just becomes easier. And then you don't have to work as hard. You can spend more time on client acquisition or growth or systemizing operations or whatever else you want to do. But in lieu of making those structural changes, it's going to be difficult.
So focusing in on, say, 3 key areas that they work on and just do that rather than being everything to everyone.
Yeah. I mean, one, if you can really do it, right? I solve one problem with one solution. But sure, if you want to do 2 or 3, go your life. But seven's a lot. 7 is very complicated. And to find staff that can do 7 different things competently, that's really, really difficult.
Yeah. Oh, that's great advice. Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll go on to our next question, which is, as a business owner, the business can end up taking over your life. What are some strategies to give back some balance so the business owner can have a personal life as well?
So the things that will get the business to take over your life are fires, staff, and clients. So for dealing with fires, all right, there's a fire, it's urgent. I have to fix this thing right now, even though it's 11 p.m. at night, and tomorrow morning I'm supposed to take my kids to footy or whatever else like that. So in firefighting, sure, do the firefighting, but after it's done, ask the question, how do we prevent this from happening ever again? Right, which is probably improving some sort of process for what you're doing, which means you have to actually document the processes that you have for implementing whatever the work is. Right. So just the post-mortem of dealing with fire, you got to do that. The second one is for clients. Do clients expect you to reply within 5 minutes at midnight? Well, they probably shouldn't anymore. So, really also taking stock and ask ChatGPT to help you with this as well. Hey, I have these issues. I have to work so many hours. Clients are expecting and demanding so many different things. I'm concerned I've created a monster. Help me flesh this out and figure out what specifically needs to change going forwards. Clients generally do not deliberately try and ruin your life. They don't know, right? They're asking for some service that they think will take an hour and you can do right now. But really, like, that's a 5-day project and means we can't do other sort of things like that. So getting in front of, like, what are making the client demands upon you less insane. And one of the quick ways for that is just saying, look, if you got an issue, got a question, I'll reply within 24 hours. That sounds very reasonable, but it means, I'm not replying after 5 p.m. at all, ever, for anything. Like, I time, step away, I can be with my family, I can relax, calm down, and then the next day I'll, work at a reasonable hour. And then the third is staff, sort of same process to fix with that. Like, are they expecting or demanding answers to their questions so quickly? Like, and are you really find it challenging to say no to your staff? And same process, exploring with ChatGPT, how to figure out what those boundaries should be and how to actually enforce those boundaries. No one is going to do this for you. However, fixing this can happen in about a week, right? You just got to take action.
Yes, and that was the phrase that was coming to mind, where it was boundary setting. And that's what you're really talking about here, setting some guidelines to when you work and when you don't work. Is it possible to get yourself out of day-to-day operations?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So anyone who really wants to grow their business did this. Like basically every single person who has successfully scaled their business pulled this off. Otherwise, they just wouldn't have had time or mental energy in order to do all the things that are required to scale a business. All right. So one of the key ones is hire a good operations manager. If you're not sure if your operations manager is good, they're not. Unfortunately, it's a role that many people aren't really sure what an operations manager is actually supposed to do. They think they're a project manager. You can get ChatGPT to help you with that, flesh out like what would that person actually look like? What would that role look like? And then from there, you don't look at processes, you don't look at systems, you don't look at KPIs, you don't look at you don't set these. Rather, the operations manager is responsible for setting them, keeping people on track for that, and that sort of thing. And then for what most people probably think in terms of day-to-day operations is client work and actually fulfilling client work. Well, get good staff in place, and it's much easier to get good staff in place if you go to the effort of documenting your processes or having your operations manager do it for you. Then it just isn't that hard to fulfill the work, right? Oh, can you get this work done? It's pretty similar to the last 15 clients you worked with. Can you do that without making mistakes or asking me questions? I mean, on the 15th time, yeah, I probably can. Right. And then managing that can be done quite efficiently, or you can delegate that as well. But all of this rests upon how complicated is your business really? Because if it's very complicated, then it's going to require lots of management overhead and time and energy and stress that is going to be harder to delegate and harder to get out of. But yes, absolutely, you can get out of the day-to-day operations. And in fact, you probably have to if you want to scale properly.
Okay, great. Okay, so the biggest business owners may struggle and feel that they are sabotaging their own business. What are steps around this?
Yeah, definitely. Well, you got to take stock of what your strengths and weaknesses are as a business owner, right? Probably your background is either technically at providing whatever of the services that you provide. If you're running an accountancy, probably you're very good at accounting, right? The other common disciplines would be coming from development, if you're running a SaaS, or marketing or sales. Almost definitely not account management, finance, or operations, right? So you have this great skill set and whatever it is that you do really well. And then the goal is, okay, I need to know how much I don't know about these other areas. I'm not expected to know how to do these other things really well, right? Everyone's amazed that you're able to run a small business at all. It's very, very difficult. Anyone's ever done it knows, like, okay, yeah, this is not a straightforward process. There's 57 new skills that I had to acquire that I just didn't know about, wouldn't have thought about, right? How do I do account management? What even is that, and how does it work? So take real stock of what your strengths and weaknesses actually are, where your skills are and are not, and then from there, get help, right? Get coaching, get advisors, join a coaching, a mentorship program, mastermind program, read books, and just pick one problem at a time. Don't overwhelm yourself. If the number one problem is marketing, great. That's the only thing you'll learn about for the next 3 months or 6 months or something like that. Get that problem solved. If it's operations, do operations. If it's finance, do its finance. Just pick the number one area. And then once that problem's solved, okay, cool. Where was the second biggest problem? All right, with something else like that. And then rather than coming in with your half-baked assumptions about what you think would be a good solution based upon no years of experience, no expertise, no reference information, instead you come in with more humility and more effective caution in what it is that you're actually providing. For me, if I don't have expertise in an area, I don't care what I think about the subject. I'm going to defer to someone else. It's like, here's what the problem is, I think. Here's what a solution might be like. But I'm very aware that I don't really know. And I'm overjoyed if someone could correct me massively and say, you're dumb. Your strategy makes no sense at all. And the correct strategy is 180 degrees compared to what you said. It's like, thank you so much. However, you need to accept a little bit of humility in some areas for that. Not your number one strength. You can remain amazingly arrogant about that, but just the other areas where you don't know everything,
Yeah.
and I'll also help. Right?
Yeah.
Other business owners get it. It's fine.
Perfect. Yeah. Yes. Well, there is so much to do, and you can't have expertise in every area. So focus on what you're good at, and get help with the other areas.
Yeah.
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 Fantastic. So our fifth question, Kieran, is how do you and your consultancy help businesses streamline their business?
Yeah. Yeah. So we start off, we're doing a gaps analysis, take a look at what you're doing in your business, survey all of the staff anonymously, find out what they think is actually going on, take a look at your systems and your processes as such that they exist, and then get a sense from you. It's like, all right, I mean, like, what do you actually really, really want to accomplish in your business? What do you actually care about? And take a very critical lens to that. And then say, okay, what are the biggest obstacles probably in achieving that? And coming up with a plan with them and me to figure out how to get there as quickly and as efficiently and as painlessly as possible. And then from there, start to implement the plan, which is probably looking at first restructuring, like what are your least profitable, most annoying, frustrating, difficult, and expensive and hard to delegate services and products. Okay, can we start to phase those out? Right, that will help tremendously. And then most of it just involves, all right, what is having a challenge with clients expect too much. Okay, let's take a look at your account management processes. They're not documented. Okay, cool. Let's document them. You can use ChatGPT and a Loom recording. We can document out your whole business in about 2 weeks quite easily, right? This is 2025. We have AI now. We have Loom recordings with transcripts. Getting everything documented is no longer even a small challenge. So we could do that, and then in analyzing those processes, be like, oh, okay, I see here. When you're submitting client work to the client, you're asking what their opinion is. And you probably shouldn't be asking that. If you're the expert, why do you care what their opinion is? You're the expert. Tell them, like, this is good. We're happy. Going to publish this. It's going to be great. And just wanted to keep you updated on where we're at. Have a nice weekend. Full stop. No question mark. If there's a problem, they'll tell you. If you made a mistake, they'll tell you. You don't have to go out of your way. And just like tiny little tweaks like that, literally just changing a question mark into a full stop, that can change all sorts of stuff. But until it's written out and documented in lots of detail, which ChatGPT can provide excellent levels of detail in your standard operating procedures, it's hard to know. It's very, very hard to know. But once it is there, it's quite easy to tell. And yes, process by process by process by process. Take a look at the software that you're using and the challenges with that. Just trying to make things simple and easy and realistic. And then bit by bit by bit, we start making more and more and more momentum, get you more and more out of the business so you can spend more and more time working on it and improving those systems, and then goes from there.
Fantastic. Kieran, just tell us a bit about your background. How did you get so interested in business processes and systemization of the business and the management side?
Yeah. So my first job out of uni was a CRM pre-sales consultant, and CRM is mainly process optimization, really. And so that was very, very interesting to me. Then I read the 4-Hour Work Week, and I was like, that was interesting. And so I documented all my processes and figured out how to streamline them so that I could work remotely and move to Thailand. And I just took to it really well and just loved making processes for things. Started implementing that in my daily life as well, coming up with processes for how I do everything. and just found it a really, really nice fit. Then later on, got a job working as a digital marketer at a marketing agency in Melbourne, and did the same thing, just turn everything into a process. What do we do? And just sort of stumbled my way into the operations manager without even really knowing what that meant.
Mm.
But yeah, I just became the de facto process guy. I like it. And then
And
eventually graduated into helping other marketing agencies with operations, and now I help other digital business owners with operations.
fantastic. Well, it certainly really is useful and builds efficiencies when you have processes in place and you know what you're going to do.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining us. It's really great to hear your process and your approach to building a business. And yeah, there's lots of takeaways there. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much. It was a pleasure.